Hello, folks, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe Chon Love, here with the AEW Collision review as we're now in towards February, second month of the year. We're cruising through. We cruise through a very good January. Thank you all to the new subscribers and all as we're getting through this new phase of the podcast. Comments, likes, stuff has been up. Gotta say thank you towards the new look. It has certainly been an adjustment for the podcast, but certainly helps, and I've been enjoying it and hope you guys have done so as well. As far as Collision, so, as you guys know, last week I did not do a review on Collision last week. Instead, opted to review the Royal Rumble. Now, I did still see Collision. I did still see it. Bryan versus Yuji Nagata. Serena Deeb's return. She did have another match the other night. So good for her. Against Queen Animata, there were some, hiccups during the match, some miscommunication. But overall, it's good to see Serena Deeb back. There's also the cage match. The cage match was the big thing on the show last week with FTR, Daniel Garcia, and House Black. Now, right off the bat, I mentioned that I was not looking at it from two sides. Yes, unhappy with how House Black has been looking, but also, if you watch Collision, especially the other day, you'll see that Daniel Garcia, they're grooming him, it seems, to be a breakout star perhaps this year and going into 2025. It's good. Build your future. Build your future. It's up in arms, but I can see it. But we did have some good stuff on Collision. Nothing too special. Like I said, FTR and Daniel Garcia were in the main event again. This time against Christian Cage and the Patriarchy. And Daniel Garcia got another win. So, again, building his stock. Eddie Kingston, I will say, I think we can agree that with these rankings being back, a match like how it was for Bryan Keith, albeit it was a good match, but Bryan Keith, the way he's been in as of late, he's put out some good performances, and all of a sudden he's all elite. He had a great reaction. Hopefully, now that he's all elite, perhaps they put some build and some stock into his character and just these good performances and matches. Bryan Danielson, as they continue to edge with these CML folk and competitors, it was different against Henchicero. Sorry if I butchered his name, but we expect this high-flying, luchador like style, and then Henchicero is different. It's some type of match. I can see why Bryan wanted a match with him. It was a good match. People automatically say, well, why should we care? Clearly, they're trying to build a partnership with CML. Now I get it. You're having trouble pushing your own guys. So this different aspect, but it was a fun match, I have to say, between Bryan and Henchicero. Yeah. Anyways, guys, that's was the open. Now let's get into the review. First, before, thank you guys all. Like on this side, subscribe on that side, subscription box there in the corner. Be a subscriber, be a part of the channel, help out video, help out the channel, as well as the like button. And I just said it again, I apologize, but yeah, like. And let's get started with the review, shall we? So, first of all, I will say that I think if you had to choose the Royal Rumble or Collision, I would probably chose the Royal Rumble. Now the Royal Rumble was a bit disappointing, but still, I like Collision as well for last week. So Eddie Kingston start off with Bryan's match, Bryan Keith, which was a good match. The bounty hunter, Bryan Keith, certainly worked. This was a proving ground match, which clearly, if there's another skepticism about this placement in this match, is obviously the Ring of Honor title stuff. So Eddie Kingston is still the holder of the Triple Crown, and clearly he's in this feud with Bryan Danielson, which will likely culminate in Bryan beating Eddie for the Continental Crown. I think we can say that the start of Eddie's run with Continental Crown has been pretty lacking, I will say, despite the good matches. So towards the end of the match, Bryan Keith hit a flurry of offense. He sent on to the outside, followed with a sit-out Michinoku driver and a Tiger Bomb for a near fall. Good offense against Eddie, but Eddie followed up and then landed some strikes, followed with his signature back fist. 1, 2, 3, and Eddie Kingston retains the Continental Crown. Afterwards, Tony Schiavone got in the ring and announced after some solid performances that Bryan Keith is now elite. He had some reaction, and out came Bryan Danielson shortly after, to the dismay of Eddie Kingston, furthering this storyline, which should be a fun match between Eddie Kingston and Bryan Danielson. Next up, Jon Moxley he was backstage cutting promo like, take it out as is and talk about nothing's perfect. The attacks of the CML guys from Wednesday, and on Wednesday, that trios match between the Blackpool Combat Club, CML folk, it's there. Now, Blackpool Combat Club, it's weird how Bryan, I get it. Bryan and Claudio have been in some tag matches, but it's so weird seeing Bryan and Claudio in the tag division, not BCC in the trios division. I have to look down the line as far as the rankings, but you get the point. So, Bryan Danielson next up for Henchicero. Henchicero had some unique entrance with some fiery rocks and the pyro. It was a fun entrance, I will say. So, I'm sure many people who haven't done much research and see a luchador or a guy in mask, automatically assume, high flying lucha libre style, and this time it was a unique match, certainly to say, as we got a very submission-based, tactical match, which I'd say Bryan Danielson must have loved, because there were some shots and some grappling in this match that was something. So, there was a spot where I was like, geez, where Bryan, Henchicero was in the Romero special position. He countered into his own and, towards Bryan's knees, just going back and forth, and eventually almost pinned him out of position, but was in the ropes. Yeah, that was some spot. So, Bryan, in the end, he almost got twisted up a couple times and then almost got pinned on his shoulders. So, unique plays by Henchicero. But back and forth, finally, Bryan got a high sack, rolled through, victory roll, 1, 2, 3. Bryan gets a win. More build towards his trios match on Wednesday, and obviously the build with the CML guys. Take it out as you may, but we're going to get the match on Wednesday, and yeah, this match between the two, that was fun. Technical matchup between two. FTR and Daniel Garcia, they were backstage. Daniel Garcia tried to take the FTR catchphrase, but it wasn't to be. But I'm the patriarchy, and in the main event tonight, yeah. Hook is on the show. I have to say, it's decision to whilst the Samoa Joe apparently is feuding, we believe, with Brian Cage. I'm sure a match will come between those two. And then, saves RVD in the match Wednesday. But here, face off 2-on-1 versus outrunners. Simple. Red Rum for the win. Clearly, we can see how the change in Collision has really felt the last number of months since it started. I mean, yeah. Mark Briscoe. Always good to see Mark Briscoe on the show. Talked about his involvement as part of the match last week. So Daniel Garcia got attacked. And originally looked like it was going to be Mark Briscoe stepping in. But instead, he got attacked on the stage area. And turned out to be he was in the corner of FTR and Daniel Garcia. And ultimately ended up helping him win. Because while Malachi Black was trying to go out the door and Daniel Garcia, first of all, Malachi should have won. Stepped out the door, but he got going into face off against Garcia when there was a chair. Anyway, typical guy tries to go out the door. Another guy goes out the cage and door gets slammed in the guy's face. Guy over cage wins. So that was Mark Briscoe. There you go. So talked about times, being with his brother. Talked about House Black not being afraid of him. And House of Black, they appeared on the big screen. And they talked about magic tricks. Malachi Black talked about how his favorite trick is when they make people disappear. Now they can do that quickly with Mark Briscoe. Relieving him from professional wrestling. And they can do it just like that. So, fingers snapped. Lights went back on. But Mark Briscoe was the only one in the ring. So, Malachi Black said, yeah, see how easy it is? Yep. So, yeah. Mark Briscoe. I'm well torn with House Black the way it's. Now, House Black do have to get the win on FTR. I mean, we'll see. But yeah, I would love for them to feud with the Blackpool Combat Club. I think we've been preaching for that, but we'll see. Mark Briscoe. Who's he going to align with besides, does FTR get involved? We'll see. Adam Copeland. They pretty much replayed the video of him he said he wanted to, talking about why he did the Cope Open. And they went over his challenges and talked about proving himself to Christian Cage for a title shot. And it was pretty much a lead in because next week we're going to hear from Christian or Adam Copeland as he is number 3 in the men's rankings. Now again, it's not great that for 4 men's titles there's only one pair of rankings. That's your to a T. Queen Animata, who's been busy the last few weeks, faced off against Serena Deeb. So, decent match here. Deeb, her second match back. Serena luck. Queen taps out. There you go. Serena Deeb, building momentum, and with the rankings back, knows she's got to be making her way for the division. Now, the way it seems, she kind of seems like a tweener, but I mean, right now, but I love her theme. The entrance, the flag, I mean, it works. Swerve Strickland was out there, was asked about Hangman Page, talked about Black History Month, talked about Rod Simmons, Kofi Kingston, and Athena. Said he's prepared to join them as some of the greats because Wednesday he's going to earn the opportunity to do something he's not done before, and that is be world champion. And Tony talked about the sentiment of Hangman Page saying that Swerve can't beat him without the help of the Mogul Embassy. So, Prince Nana, who returned, good for him, seemed a bit animated. So, Swerve said, I want you guys there. I do. But no interferences. I mean it. So yeah, Hangman for Swerve Part 3 Wednesday, but yeah, it appears still sticking the guns of it's gonna happen. Tony Storm. We got another basically video silhouette, whatever you want to say, of her, Luther, and Mariah May. So, Tony Storm upset at Deonna Purrazzo, and Mariah May was pumped. She was like, "Did you see my match?" And then Tony Storm was like, "Oh, darling, when you've seen one women's match, you've seen all the rest." So, went back to Deonna Purrazzo and said that she'll have a meeting saying that she'll, quote, sniff her, smell her, eat her, gobble her up, and told Luther to make her an appointment, and they screwed off. I will say, I mean, Tony Storm character, the storyline with Tony Storm and Deanna, I'm enjoying it. So, yeah. Brian May, we know there's going to be a silly storyline in between soon. So we got 2 women's matches on the show. Red Velvet face off against vertivixen. Someone not sure to build Red Velvet, it appears. Now the rankings are back. Yeah. But Velvet won here. Backstabber 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Simply to build Red Velvet, I guess. With the rankings back. Main events. Christian Cage, in which Nigel McGuinness called, and I quote, the DILF of the year. That was what Nigel McGuinness said. Nigel is hilarious. One of the best. And sucking up to Christian Cage, I mean, it's hilarious. Calling him the father of the year, I mean, yeah. But got in a hurry by FTR and company. Cashed in Suicida. Garcia got in with the hot offense, landed a brainbuster for a near fall. Nick had some good offense in this match. He had a fisherman for a near fall. He actually mocked Daniel Garcia's dancing. So there you go. So Matt Menard, Danny Magic Matt Menard, it's hilarious. I mean, yeah. Was on commentary, as always, for Daniel Garcia matches. So he praised, the patriarchy. Anyways, in the end, offense, finishers basically exchanged in the middle of the ring. And Garcia, it's basically like his finisher now. Besides the Dragon Tamer. Because he locked up Nick Wayne in a jackknife cover, 1, 2, 3, and got the victory. Yeah, Daniel Garcia got big momentum. I'll say it's good to see. And it's funny, Christian Cage had this blank face kind of on. It's just odd. And then Garcia and FTR, they actually dance basically in Christian Cage's face. And if it was me, I would probably laughed. But Christian Cage, credit to him, his stoic and blankness of it all. And they were building up the possibility of Daniel Garcia challenging Christian Cage for a potential title match. Would be nice, sure. Although Garcia's gotten these victories primarily in multi-man matches, if you have to say, but we'll see. But how Collision went off the air, again, decent show, as we kind of expect with Collision these days. Some good stuff. Not too big, but yeah, goes there for, yeah, Dynamite this Wednesday. Should be fun filled. So, yeah, Swerve first segment part 3. Got the tag team title match, Darby and Singh versus Big Bill and Ricky Starks. Got the trios match of them. Blackpool Combat Club versus, the CML guys. And much more. So, but should be a good episode of Dynamite. Looking forward to on Wednesday. But for now, guys, thank you guys all for joining me in this video today. And until next time, see you guys. But thank you guys all. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Thank you guys, and peace.